Arsenal suffered our first defeat of the season away at Lens, losing 2-1 in our first away game of the Champions League season. Very disappointed. I already said this in the post-match reaction. We were just not good enough, simply not good enough. We didn't take our chances. We were giving Lens too many chances. I think we were flat out horrible. It was probably our worst performance of the season. And in today's video, I'll be giving my player ratings for the game. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. I think without any further ado, I'm tired about talking about this game, so let's just get straight into these player ratings. In goal, we had David Raya. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I wanted Ramsdale to start, and not because I knew Raya would make the mistake that he did, but because I thought Ramsdale had done well enough against Brentford to warrant a start for Arsenal. Raya, I'm giving a 5. Obviously, he got that mistake for the goal, just too nonchalant, horrible pass. But after that, there wasn't much else he could have done. The goals we conceded, he couldn't have done better at. Overall, I think it was a pretty flat performance from him, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as some people are making it out to seem. Other than the mistake, he was okay, I guess. 5 out of 10 for David Raya. Zinchenko, as much as I love Zinchenko and I've been singing his praise, which is quite contradictory to a lot of Arsenal fans. I've been singing his praise this whole season. This was a poor performance from him. He went missing too often, he wasn't impacting the game, and he was getting torched on defense. He looked a lot better this season defensively, but last night against Lens, he was getting torched. Simple as that. I'm going to give Zinchenko a 4 out of 10. Could even go lower. Gabriel and Saliba, I'm going to give Saliba a 6 out of 10. He was okay, he had some good defending, was probably the better defender out of the whole back line. He wasn't bad at all. He couldn't have done better with either goal that we conceded, so I'm just going to give Saliba a 6 out of 10. Gabriel, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. A little bit lower than Saliba, but he made several sloppy passes. He didn't look secured. He looked quite uncomfortable on the ball when Lens were pressing, and to be fair, Lens pressed quite well, but Gabriel just didn't look as comfortable as you would like, and as he has looked all season long. He made that mistake where in the second half where Lens could have capitalized and made it 2-1 to them earlier, but yeah, I'm giving Gabriel a 5 out of 10. Tomiyasu, I'm actually giving the same rating as Saliba. I'm giving him a 6 out of 10. Was decent all round, nothing special, nothing amazing. Obviously, he missed that huge chance from the corner, and looking back at it now, he really should have done better. It dropped perfectly at his feet. He still hasn't scored a goal for Arsenal. That would have been the perfect time to do so. Yeah, 6 out of 10, I think, for Tomiyasu. Declan Rice, I must give him a 6 out of 10. Was pretty solid apart from some sloppy moments here and there. I thought he was really good in the midfield for us, probably our best midfielder. He just looked solid. He won the ball quite well for us. He had that aggression, and unfortunately against Lens, not many of our players had that aggression. He was one of them. Maybe him and Jesus were one of the only players that had aggression. They were trying to win the 50-50s. So yeah, I'll give Declan a 6 out of 10. Kai Havertz, I thought coming off scoring against Bournemouth, yes, it was a charity penalty, but a penalty is a penalty, and goal is a goal. I thought he'd come in with a little more confidence, and to be fair, at times he did look a little more comfortable and a little more confident with the team, but it wasn't his best performance. And let's just be honest about that. He just didn't look good. He did well in pockets, but also kind of just went back to the same old making the safe play and lack of hunger in the 50-50s, causing fouls. Yes, he was winning defensive headers, and that's what he does quite often for us, but other than that, he really didn't do much. I'm going to give Kai a 5 out of 10. Martin Odegaard, another player I've been singing his praises of the whole season. Probably had the one iffy game against Spurs, but other than that, he's been outstanding. But against Lens, he just didn't look good. He just didn't. It wasn't his best performance. Was quite absent for most of the game, and he did have some good moments. He did have some good moments, as he always does, of course. That Tomiyasu missed chance was a beautiful cross from Odegaard. Odegaard sometimes played some beautiful balls that just weren't capitalized on. He was pressing to a decent standard like he always does, but he just wasn't that good. We've seen him play much better before, and unfortunately I can't give him much higher than a 5 out of 10. So 5 out of 10 for Martin Odegaard. Saka, I'm going to give him a 6. Unfortunate that he had to come off. Hopefully he'll be ready for City. Still no word as of recording about his injury, but hopefully it's not that bad. I mean, Arteta did say it's not looking good, but Arteta always says that, so I don't really listen to Arteta. He's not a doctor, he's not the medical staff, so I'm not going to take his word for it. But to be fair, Saka did quite well on that loose ball to set through Jesus. But other than that, he didn't do much. I gave him a 6 out of 10 because I thought he was okay. And had he had more time, he probably would have went down or up depending on how he played. But I think 6 out of 10 for the amount of time he played is quite fair for Bukayo. Trossard, I was very happy to see him back in the starting 11. Obviously, we've missed him through injury. And we've kind of had to have a makeshift start in front 3 with Jesus at the left wing. So it was much better seeing Trossard start at left wing. But again, he just didn't really perform well. He was pretty absent in the first half. Second, he was marginally better, had some good chances, but again, never took them. And it seems like Lons just kind of controlled him, kept him in the pocket a little bit, and it was hard for Trossard to make any good plays. I'll give Trossard a 5 out of 10. Next, we'll go Gabriel Jesus. Good finish and beautiful move from the first goal for us, or the only goal, should I say. He worked very hard overall, as he always does, very pesky. But he wasn't good enough when it mattered in the final chances. In the final third, he just had some sloppy touches, and I felt that wasn't the sharpest Gabriel Jesus we've seen. I'm glad to see him back in the striker position, but it just wasn't good enough from him. I'll give Gabriel Jesus, though, a 6 out of 10 considering he did score the goal. Ben White came on off the bench. He was okay. He helped us pin Lons in a little bit. Also, I mean, they did score a goal and they were up, so they would sit back. But Ben White helped us pin them back a little bit. He allowed us to have the ball a bit more. He was okay on the ball, putting some decent crosses here and there. I'll give Ben White a 6 out of 10. Wasn't too bad from him. Fabio Vieira. Now, I like Fabio Vieira a lot, but I don't understand when Bukayo Saka goes off injured. Why bring on Fabio Vieira? Vieira is not a winger. He's not quick enough to play winger. He's not skillful enough to play winger. His position is in the 10. Is in those holes between the CDM and centre back. That's where Fabio Vieira is his best. We saw that against Fulham. Fulham was his best game, let's be honest. But we saw that against Fulham. We saw that all the games that he's performed well this season was in the 10 position next to Odegaard. Why bring him on a right wing? I don't know. When he came on a right wing, I thought, okay, maybe we're going to change formation. No, we didn't. We just stuck him in the right wing position and hoped he'd do something. When we have good enough players that can play that position on the bench, like Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe is probably a better winger than Vieira is. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, Vieira just didn't do well enough. It was just some dreadful deliveries from set pieces as well when it mattered. If you think about those free kicks towards the end of the game, yeah. Fabio Vieira, I'll give him 4 out of 10. Smith Rowe, he was pretty good. Like, let's just be honest, guys. I am a Smith Rowe lover. I love watching him play, and I am biased him at times. I try not to be, but I am. But I genuinely thought he was probably one of the better players on the field when he was on the field. He just, I thought he was a good spark off the bench, had some good moments when he was looking to do something. He took some shots when he could. He wasn't as wasteful as he was against Bournemouth, but I think he's good enough. I think he's good enough to start over Havertz. If he should against Man City, I don't know. I think after the international break, Smith Rowe should be a starter in this midfield if it's not Vieira. I don't think Havertz should be a starter, but I'm not the manager, and that's Arteta's decision. But to me, what more does Smith Rowe have to do to get him some more playing time, meaningful minutes, and let him start for once? Anyway, Smith Rowe, I'll give a 6 out of 10. Reece Nelson, 5 out of 10. At times, he was just looking like he was trying to do too much. But outside of that, he was good. He has been this season. He's been a very solid spark off the bench. Does he deserve start minutes? I don't know, probably, but not against Man City. For me, him and Smith Rowe deserve more minutes, whether it's starting or just more meaningful minutes off the bench. Nelson didn't have his greatest game, but he was more of a spark than Vieira was on the other wing. I thought Nelson was pretty decent. I'll give Nelson a 5 out of 10. And on to Nketiah. We're not going to give him anything because he didn't really do anything, didn't have time to do anything, so we'll just ignore that. Arteta. I'm going to be harsh because it's our first loss of the season and I'm allowed to be upset. I'll give Mikel Arteta a 3 out of 10. Didn't rest any star players. We didn't kill the game off. Alright, and again, this is not all to blame, but he is the manager, so he must take the brunt of it. We didn't rest any star players. We didn't kill the game off. We have an injury to Bukayo Saka, who shouldn't have been playing. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. He shouldn't have been playing if he wasn't fit enough. Again, I know I said in the pre-match that I think I want Saka to start, but I was assuming if he was fully fit. But yeah, what do I know? Now Saka's injured in a crucial time against a crucial Man City coming up, a crucial game against Man City coming up. It's horrible. You refuse to rest Saka, you refuse to rest Declan Rice, you refuse to rest a lot of our players that need it coming up against Man City. It was a horrible situation we're in right now. Horrible performance from the team. I think a 3 for Mikel Arteta is deserved. But that's what I think, guys. Let me know in the comments what player ratings do you disagree with. How do you think we're going to line up against City? Like, it's going to be a tough game. How do you think the game's going to go? Let me know in the comments below. Also, give me your post-match reactions about this. Who was your man of the match for us? If you even have one, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.